Here we are. We're back.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mary.
My name is Jerry.
Welcome to the Mary and
Jerry podcast.
Season 2.
That's right. Who knew we would have more
A
than
second
once
season?
A second season. Like Star Trek. The original Star Trek only got 3 seasons.
I didn't think we'd ever have a season, let alone a second season.
I know.
We're so excited that y'all have decided to join us.
But here we are. New year.
Same old us.
Same old us. Speaking of old.
So what do we talk about here on this podcast? Since we totally forgot to introduce the podcast.
We talk about life.
Love.
Marriage.
Family.
Bacon.
Faith.
Meat.
There is, okay, bacon and meat are the same things.
Oh, au contraire.
There's nothing that we don't talk about.
Nothing.
Correct?
Yeah, which can sometimes
the,
lead to some interesting feedback comments, just saying.
Yes, very true. Other than what the FCC says we can't talk about. So
yes, okay.
I don't even know what that is. But anyways.
Well, let's not
Welcome to Season 2 of the Mary and Jerry podcast. We are so excited that you have decided to join us again. Today, we're going to have a little interview.
Is this like one of those 60 Minutes ambush interviews?
Gosh, I hope I'm not ambushing you. I live with you.
Okay, we'll see.
I am going to ask you some questions because since the last time we were all together.
That's right.
You have turned a year older.
Another year older and deeper in debt.
Oh, how true that song is. But anyway.
Because I can't go, oh, my soul to the company store.
Okay, so in Season 2, the singing will continue.
Well, absolutely.
Okay.
That's what the people want.
Okay. So, Jerry, on December 31st
That's right.
of 2023.
Became a year wiser, a year more sage, and a year grumpier. Not in that order.
Turned 59. So you are now staring 60 intimately in the face. Like y'all are getting ready to French kiss.
Like this. Okay, let's not go there. No, that's just wrong. Wrong.
So I thought, okay, on this first podcast of Season 2.
If our dog doesn't take out our podcasting equipment.
Our dog just, so sorry for the YouTube.
There's a
dog involved.
There's a dog involved.
As you all know, Maggie, the Wonder Border Collie.
Has problems with boundaries.
Yes, she does.
Apparently.
Okay, so I was going to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay, ask away.
In this,
we fear no topic.
You fear no topic. All right, so Jerry.
That was a lie. I fear a lot of topics, but whatever.
Let's look at your life in general. So we're going to just an umbrella question. What has time taught you the most? What is the number one lesson that time has taught you?
You can't put time in a bottle. Wait, I was prepared for like a top 3. Number 1.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Top 3, Jerry. Time overall, not just.
Let's do top 3. Okay, number 1. In no particular order. Number 1. Never stop learning. Never stop. I'm always interested in learning new things. Except how to make tofu. I will never, ever want to learn how to make tofu unless it's in pad thai, which is marginally acceptable. Because you're never too old to start.
That's fair.
Stop learning, right? I mean,
well, look at Einstein's brain. His brain grew his entire life. So did Churchill's.
That's why all my hair fell out because my brain is
making room.
That's right. Brain is still growing.
All the smart things.
But it's true, as we've told people that have asked. I mean, I've reinvented myself several times, had to make several career moves, have done things that I totally didn't think that I would ever do, both in my career and my personal life. So never stop growing, never stop learning. Number 2, as I have gotten older and wiser, I find that.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, I'm definitely wiser.
Okay, just checking.
Doesn't necessarily mean I follow that wisdom, right? But I've learned a lot, mostly through bad decisions and the consequences thereof.
Okay.
But the other, one of the other things I learned is that time is. It's very important to spend time with the people you love. As I get older, right. It's very important to spend time with friends and family. Not too much time because then the introvert in me kicks in and I just go, oh, is it time to go home yet?
You're like, I'm done.
Yeah. But time is important to spend
Time
with
with people that
time
you
with
love.
people
Okay.
that you love, because as I have learned in the last year, the hard way, sometimes those people are no longer there.
Mm.
And then all of the coulda, woulda, shoulda that you coulda, woulda, shoulda done that you didn't do, you no longer have the opportunity to do. So,
Okay, we'll talk about that a little bit more. We'll expand on
and
that.
then most important of all, what I have learned is don't sweat the petty things and don't pet the sweaty things. That's very important to know too.
I don't even what the actual.
Y'all can figure that out.
I don't even
That's
know
wisdom.
what that is.
It's like Sun Tzu. It's meant to make you think and interpret it, you know. Don't sweat the
I
petty
don't want to
things
think about that.
and don't pet the sweaty things.
I don't want. Okay, moving on. So those are the three grand lessons that time and life have taught you.
Yes.
So in the last year, from 58 to 59,
Mhm.
number one thing you are most proud of?
Well, proud is
Your wife and your love that you have for her, right?
that I accomplished. See, that's sort of an ongoing that's an ongoing endeavor. But if you're going to specifically narrow it down
Yes.
to 2023, I would have to say, not that it's something I ever wanted to accomplish, but I was surprised. I surprised myself at how well that I got through taking care of my sister's estate and my sister's funeral arrangements and all things to do with my sister. You know, my brother and I joke about it a little bit, but you know, my sister really stepped up and took care of our parents,
Yeah, she
particularly
sure did.
our mom. The last
5 years, 6 years of her life, most especially.
yeah, for 4 years of her life, you know, after my dad died, when my mom moved into assisted living. And I never I kind of got a hint, but I never really understood how much work that was and what an emotional toll that was. Because of course, then my sister took care of all of my mom's funeral arrangements and
Right.
and everything with my mom's estate.
Well, she was the executor.
Because
Yeah.
she was the executor,
Mhm.
and because I was the executor of my sister's estate, I tried to carry out all of her last will and testament desires, and it was really hard, not only from a
Yeah.
bureaucratic point of view, but from an emotional point of view.
Well, your sister was like your second mom.
Yeah, and
You guys were very, very close.
was very, very close, particularly the last few years. I'm one of the things that I am very, very, very happy about is that we were able to persuade her to come out for Jonathan and Jessica's wedding.
Yeah.
Because she hated to
Oh,
fly.
she hated to fly.
She hated everything to do with flying, from making airline reservations to packing a bag to, and she came out and we had a great time, and it meant a lot to us. It meant a lot to Jonathan, and it meant a lot to her. And
Well, Jonathan's her godson, so
Yeah.
she didn't ever marry or have children.
so I have to say, what is it we used to call it in youth ministry? The highs and lows. What's your high and
Yeah.
low this week? That was pretty much my high and my low of 2023.
Yeah.
It was really, really emotionally difficult to bury my sister, who
Yeah.
was only 66, right? That also sort of schmacked me in the head, that she was only 66 and she was just getting ready to go to the next phase of her life, now that she did not have to take care of our parents anymore. So yeah, time, very, very, very aware of time and how much I do and don't have left. Because at this point in my life, as the old saying goes, got more time behind me than I do in front of me. And yes, when people ask me how I'm doing, like, "Hey, Jerry, how you doing?" I'm use my father's favorite phrase. Well, ain't pushing up dirt.
Yep.
Donald Dean could cut to the heart of the matter, didn't he?
He sure did every time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's it's been a tough year. It's been a tough year. But I'll just take the opportunity to say how proud I am of you for facing some really hard things. I mean, we haven't had to kind of dig into this type of planning, this type of emotional sort of excavation since we buried our own daughter. So, I mean, your parents, when they passed, they were both in their mid 80s. They had lived good, great lives. They'd
Right.
traveled, they'd done all the things, and your sister, being very capable, just kind of took care of everything that needed to be taken care of. And we showed up and did what we were asked to do. And,
Yeah.
and then we were 4 years later at her, her graveside. And so I'm just proud of you. I'm proud of the way that you've handled all of it. And I know family dynamics can be challenging. And
Well, this is the interesting part, right? So, small family confession, right? I mean, our family, to be quite honest, was not really close. I mean, I was very close to my sister, but I'll be honest, not really close to my brother. And one thing that I was very happy about, if you want to use that phrase, is that there was a lot of
reconciliation.
reconciliation. That's a good word, of realizing, as my brother said, because my brother inherited the family wit. He's like, well, mom, dad, sis, I guess I'm next in line then. I'm like, really, dude? Is that where we're going to go? Now, this might have been a couple of bourbons in, I'm just saying. But yeah, it has really pointed out that, yeah, my brother and I we're the ones left, right? Our parents are now dead. Our sister's dead. All of our grandparents are dead. It's me and him. And of course, on top of everything else, we also lost our niece last year too.
Yeah,
So
they faced their own tragedy.
And, we were very fortunate that we
were able to walk with them.
We
through
were
that.
able to walk with them through that, and try to, in parts, share, I don't know, some of our hard-earned experiences of what it's like to lose a child. So yeah, 2023 pretty much sucked. I'm not going to lie. Overall, we got through it.
So was there one shining bright light of 2023?
I would have to say no.
Not even in the form of a little person?
Jude was born in 2022.
I know, but he learned how to walk in 2023.
Well, Jude is always a delight. It's always, but I mean, Jude was born in 2022. See, I keep track of these things. You don't think I pay attention, but I keep track of these things. Yes. Yes. The time we've spent with Jude this year has been, yes, a great blessing. Also pointing out to me that I am 59 and no longer 29, but we'll skip that part.
Our 35th wedding anniversary.
Yes, there was that.
I'm feeling like there was nothing, no joy at all.
Oh, you just said super highlight of the year.
Well, like a shining spot, a little shining city on the hill. Anything. This really showcases the difference between the two of us and how we look at things. It's fascinating to me.
I'm sorry. My listeners, my friends, anyone who knows us, anyone who follows us, does this surprise you?
No, but
I mean, seriously, can you put my tail back on?
So there's no brightness for 2023. It's pretty much just.
Well, there was brightness. The second half definitely ended up a little better than the first half, because the first half was all, funerals, wakes, lawyers, and dealing with
wakes and lawyers.
Funeral, wakes, and lawyers. Oh my,
Mm-hmm.
The second half was we got to see the kids. We got to see Jude. We had a very nice holiday season. Actually took a fair amount of time off for the holidays, which was nice. But overall 2023 was just
not your year.
Not my year.
Okay. So let's then turn around and look at
Okay, Mike Wallace, what's next?
2024.
Mm-hmm.
As we're recording this podcast, we're 3 weeks in. Right? Yeah.
We're on January 45th. I saw that internet meme and I'm like, yes, it feels like January 45th.
So on January 45th, Jerry, looking ahead at the year, facing down 60, what is
like
the
Clint
most
Eastwood in Dirty Harry? All right, punk. So has he fired 6 shots or only 5? That's how you face down 60, baby.
All right. So give me top 3 goals for your year. Go.
Avoiding a colonoscopy.
I hate to inform you, sweetheart, that's already been scheduled.
Okay, well, that goal's gone to heck, hasn't it? You didn't see that coming, did you?
I didn't.
You didn't see
but that was good. But it's already been scheduled. So moving on. Health is important.
Anyway, So top three,
It's not the colonoscopy that's so challenging. It's the prep for it.
and it's the ride home, and you're like, "Ooh, hi tree! Ooh, everything's so pretty."
You don't even remember your ride home.
No, I have no idea what I said.
I know.
All I remember is you're like,
It's epic
okay,
what you
honey,
say.
we'll just take you home. And
Yes.
you're gonna sit in your chair.
And you
you're
sleep.
not gonna operate heavy machinery, and you're going to stay off the internet.
Yes.
Because, yeah, stay off Instagram.
Jerry under anesthesia is
No.
hysterical, and maybe I'll have to film it this year. I don't know. It's just too funny for words.
Okay, so all right, so if I can't avoid the colonoscopy,
Okay, give me another 3. Come on.
Okay, so number one, so this year, like every year, right? I'm trying to improve my prayer life, my relationship with the Lord. So we get those. What are those little orange books?
Word on Fire, the daily where you pray 3 times a day. Oh, shoot. Liturgy of the Hours.
Liturgy
Yes,
of the
we
Hours.
are
Thank you.
Catholic,
See, we're
and we
Catholic,
know what we're
right?
talking
More or
about.
less. So
Yep.
we get the Easy Jerry version of the Liturgy of the Hours.
It's like the Easy Pass.
Well, it's the Reader's Digest version. For those of you old enough to remember those, it's very well organized, very well laid out. So I have been trying very hard to do night prayer every night, which if you've ever done night prayer, okay, folks, let me just put a little, if you've ever done night prayer,
Yes, I do it every night with you.
that's depressing before you go to bed. It's like all of the Psalms are like, oh Lord, you have abandoned me. Why have you abandoned me? Why have you left me here to die? And I'm like, I'm reading this before I'm going to sleep.
Well, that's in case you don't wake up. You want to make sure that you're right with the Lord.
Oh, I know, but I'm like, you read this Psalm and it's like, oh, doom and gloom. But hey, God, you're great.
Yes, it's called a lament.
Oh, sweetheart, I lament all day. When I go to bed, I'm like, hey, Jer, God loves you. It's going to be. Anyway.
This is a Jer Bear version of prayer that you could totally wrap yourself around.
Well, that's true.
Here's the thing about night prayer is that it's 7 days of the same prayers. So every Monday you're going to say the same thing. Every Tuesday you're going to say the same thing. Every Wednesday,
I'm like, man, those Psalms, that little group of Psalms, boy, David was like, he was
in a place.
He was in a place. Yeah, let's go with that. Anyway, so I've been trying to do night prayer every night.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the Super Whamadine Word on Fire Bible that has Acts and the epistles, right? So if you've ever read these are great. I love these because I'm married to who I'm married to, and she's totally awesome. We get the deluxe leather bound edition, and these are gorgeous books, just as a bibliophile, gorgeous books, but they have a lot of supplemental material to just really draw you in. So,
and they're beautiful.
They're beautiful. So you have the Gospels, you have the Acts and Epistles, and I think the third volume, which came out I think last year, is the Pentateuch. And I'm not quite ready to dive into,
what is the Pentateuch?
That's like Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus. That's the first 5 books, right?
Okay,
I'm not really ready to dive into Leviticus and Numbers because I'm just like,
okay.
But I've always wanted to really dive into Acts and the epistles because I've never, who's ever actually read all the epistles, right? And I know a lot of people do the Bible in a year or the catechism in a year.
You're getting there.
We'll get in there. So I want to do that. The second thing, my personal goal this year is to actually finish and deliver a manuscript to a publisher of the book that I have been working on for a couple of years on what I call, it's technically fiction, but I call it contingent history. Some people may call it alternate history, although alternate history and contingent history are 2 very different genres of fiction. I'm just putting that out there in the verse. But I've been working on this. I'm putting a serial up on my Substack, shameless self-promotion here for my Substack, Grouchy Historian. But
the link will be in the show notes.
I found that this has been a real intellectual challenge for me, which I love, and this has stretched me. You like to use that word a lot.
I do. Well, because my body physically stretched to give you children, so it's something that's
so
very
this is really
intimate to me.
Sort of, I think, stretching my history and my writing ability. And then the third thing I want to do is at some point this year, I need to make my first reel. I have not yet made a reel.
I'm so excited to get started with that.
I know, the old dog's got to learn another new trick.
I know, it's going to be awesome. Do you know there was a recent Harvard business article that said you have to now learn 10 new skills as an executive in business to stay competitive in the business world, when it used to be you had to learn 5 new skills like over the course of 5 years. Now it's 10 new skills over the course of a year.
Yeah, I'm keenly aware of this.
I just, well, I mean, it's something that you and I have talked about a lot, about keeping our brains moving in a positive direction and taking care of our bodies, because, you don't know how long that the Lord has planned for you to be here. And you want to make sure that, you're doing your very best. Right, Maggie?
Which is what Maggie's telling us right now.
Okay. So those are your 3 goals for the year.
Is that 3? Did I do 3?
Yeah.
Okay, that's 3.
Prayer.
Oh yeah, avoiding the colonoscopy.
Well, that's already done.
Failed for that.
Right.
The prayer and the reading of the Bible,
right,
and the book manuscript.
Okay.
Yeah. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I know. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Oh, who sings
Meatloaf.
that? Oh, you and Meatloaf. I like to eat Meatloaf. You like to listen to Meatloaf.
I do
It's
like
just
the
a
Meatloaf.
situation.
Paradise by the Dashboard Light, baby.
Oh, no, we are not singing that song. That is not family friendly. Not, mister.
I would do anything for love, but I won't do that.
For the love of Meatloaf, yes, you would. Okay, so what would you say to your 25-year-old self?
Oh, this is a dangerous game here. Dangerous game. You know what I would have said? I would have told myself to freaking buy Apple when it was $15 a share. That's what I would have told myself. I said, whatever you got to do, rob a bank, borrow money, get a credit card, buy Apple when it was like $15 a share in like 1999 or 1998, and I could literally buy the country of Botswana. I mean, seriously, people, I remember when Apple almost went out of business.
Oh my gosh.
And the stock literally got down to about maybe 15 or $25 a share. And if I had had any brains and guts, I would have bought 1,000 shares and just sat on it. And by now, I would definitely be a millionaire.
Okay, here's the thing. You had the brains.
We didn't have
it was
the money.
The guts. And think of 1998, 1999. That's when we bought this house.
Oh,
you were
I
leaving
know.
the Navy. So
I know.
I think you were being prudent and responsible, my dear, for taking care of your family as you did.
Done it.
Okay. How about something else? What else would you tell your 25-year-old self?
Buy stock in Apple.
Okay. We've already established that.
But well, seriously, in a larger sense, I wish that I had been smarter.
No, what would you tell them now? It's not a wish.
No, I would say start investing earlier. Seriously.
Okay. So for you, it's a very monetary, take care of yourselves, take care of your future kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. How about morally, emotionally, intellectually? What would you tell your 25-year-old self?
Invest more in yourself, right? I think that if there's things that I wished I had learned, skills that I had learned when I was younger, probably the thing that I really wish the most is, number one, I wish we'd spent more time with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
I would have told myself to be more forgiving because we made some decisions and we got into some situations with my parents that caused really hard feelings for a long time.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of wisdom that we could have gotten, that I could have gotten from my father that I did not, and I missed out on that chance.
Like what?
Well, I would have loved to have learned from my father a little bit more of his Mr. Fix-It skills, because he was
a genius.
He did a lot of he very, very, very rarely hired someone to do anything around his house.
Yeah.
And he never, except when he was actually getting a full engine rebuild in his car, he never took his cars to a mechanic until, doggone it, they put so many of them damn computer chips in there that you can't even fix them yourself anymore.
The only time I ever remember him calling a repair guy was when the septic tank.
Well, yeah, because you have to have like one of those ginormous sucker trucks to kind of clean out the, but I remember that too. He was so mad because he had to call somebody.
He had to call somebody.
He couldn't fix it himself. Oh yeah. But
what else?
What else would I have told myself? I think I would have. Well, so the other thing that's very important that I would tell myself at 25 is don't lose your sense of humor, right? Even if it's a dark, dark sense of humor, which I specialize in. Life is hard, and sometimes you just have to laugh at things. I mean, we were famous or infamous, depending on your point of view, among emergency room nurses wherever we went when Courtney was alive, because we'd be in this seemingly life and death situation, and we're just cracking jokes, and everybody's like, looking at us like, what the hell's wrong with you? And I'm like, oh, by the way, did I tell you this is like our 30th trip to the emergency room? So, unless there's actually blood squirting somewhere, we're not.
Or, we see a flat line on the screen.
Yeah, unless the little lines stop going squiggly, 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 we don't really worry about it anymore.
We're not going to get excited.
We're not going to get excited. And they're like, is there something wrong? No.
Because the Lord was very kind to us. We had prayed for so long to know exactly when it was the moment. And he was so clear and so gracious to point that out to us and to give us that gift. I know that's not always the case, but that's happened with us in our situation with our daughter. So,
no.
Okay. So what would you, these are all beautiful things. So what I'm hearing is there is a theme in this. To live without regret is to forgive with grace.
Yeah. And I got to tell you that I would say over the last 59 years, getting rid of regret has been very challenging.
Yeah.
Particularly when you lose someone, which I've done. It's very hard not to have regret. Again, that you didn't heal that relationship, you didn't say, I'm sorry, you didn't reach out, you didn't, whatever, earlier and more often. So first thing I would say is try not to have those regrets, do those things, trust me.
Well, and trust God with it.
Well, no, trust me. You will look back and say, I wish I had said I'm sorry, and I wish I had reached out. And it may not be successful, right? I mean, you can't control the other person's reaction. And if you reach out to, try to make up or whatever, and they're still mad, okay, great. But at least you can say, I tried.
You've done your best.
You've done your best, right? But yeah, I'd say forgiveness has been very important. I've definitely learned. Of course, I've also learned about
She's growling at us.
Hyperactive border collies that just want us to throw the frisbee, but we can't because we're podcasting. We're going to have to take the dog out after this and run her around a little bit. So
forgiveness is key in this whole kind of pie.
I think forgiveness and not looking back, right? I mean, we play the game with ourselves. Like I said, again, back to the Apple stock, right? If I'd only, but you know what? That's kind of a loser's game because you're not going to get that time back. You can only go forward, right? So the question is, what can you do to make things better and to make forward progress now, right?
Well, it's like the whole woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Right.
I mean, I think Satan really likes to play in that playground of woulda, shoulda, coulda, because if he can get you to be thinking in the past and being occupied with what's already happened and what you did and didn't do, then you're not paying attention to where you are right now. Your feet are not in the present moment.
Right.
And, you have been blessed with 59 beautiful years on this earth. And you, Miss Maggie, might not make it to 3. Now, hush. So you've been blessed with that. You've been blessed with a beautiful life. I mean, it's not been perfect, but you've overcome so much. I mean, I've known you of those 59 years for 37 of them. And the man that I sit next to today is a man
way cooler than back then, right?
He is. And he's a man of honor. He's a man of faith. He's a man of family.
Oh, you make me blush.
And, you're pretty cute too. I love you. I'm proud of you.
I love you too.
I'm honored to walk with you. And, we're not going to do woulda, shoulda, coulda in 2024.
No, we got too much work to do. We got
That's
things
right.
to do. We got goals, right? I mean, this is why we have the planning session, right? We just had that too, right? Did we talk about that?
We
before?
did. We did a whole podcast on that.
Ooh, we survived it. It was tough. I mean,
The dream date.
the dream date. She was scared when I actually got out the PowerPoint slides, not going to lie.
Oh my gosh, you guys, he was like typing and I thought we were just going to like chat. And he's like, okay, well, what does that mean? Okay, well, what does that mean?
Because if you put it down on a PowerPoint slide, then you can go
then
back
I have to look at it and I have to, like,
right.
my feet have to be held to the fire.
I know.
Okay, so.
We didn't bring our cards.
We
to
did.
play
I know, but I was
not so-
prepared for the not so newlywed
Oh,
game.
No. Wait, you prepared questions?
I
for the
did.
Not so-
I prepared questions for the not so newlywed game.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Sure.
If you were a dog, what dog would you be? What would your name be? And what would your favorite toy be?
Is that a serious question?
That is a serious question.
Okay, if I were a dog, what kind of dog would I be? I would be a bulldog.
Okay. What would your name be?
Butch.
Okay.
And my favorite toy would be nothing because I've never seen a bulldog play with the toy. They just sort of stomp around, drool a lot, and take naps, which I'm totally down with.
That's a great question. Okay.
You would be a freaking Cocker Spaniel.
Yes, I would.
You would be a Cocker
I would
Spaniel
be-
chasing a ball around the room.
I would.
Yipping. Yip, 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 yip,
And
yip,
my
yip, yip,
name
yip.
would be Stella.
Your name would be Sparkle. You'd be like Sparkle.
Stella the Sparkle Cocker Spaniel.
Sparkle the Cocker
No.
Spaniel. And just go.
Stella.
Stella.
Stella,
No.
from Streetcar Named Desire.
Yeah, no, you would be like Sparkle because you'd be like the little happy dog
With my glitter collar.
with your glitter collar.
And then I would have a raincoat and boots for days so that my paws wouldn't get dirty.
That's right.
I would be such a diva dog.
Yeah. Wait, shocking. You would be a diva dog.
Okay. All right. Question number 2 of the not so newlywed game. It totally left my brain. Oh my gosh.
Well, clearly not so newlywed game.
Oh my gosh. It just totally left my brain. What was I going to ask you? Oh, okay. If your life was a meal, like the example of your life, everything that you've lived was on a table, what would be that meal? What would it be and why would it be? The look on your face.
That is the most bizarre question
That's
I
right.
think I've ever heard.
But it's fun because
What
you would
kind of-
never
I would be a
expect it.
charcuterie board.
You
That's
would
what
be a charcuterie.
I'd be a charcuterie
This
board.
is very true. Why?
Because you'd have a little salami, a little pastrami, a little bit of pepperoni. You'd have some cheeses. You'd have like little jam thingies.
You'd have olives that
you'd
are
have crackers.
brined.
Yeah. So I'm like, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. That's what my life has been. A little bit of this. I mean, look at it. We've lived all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
I've changed jobs 5 times, changed careers
3 times.
3 times. So, met a lot of amazing people that I would have never, okay, here's a birthday. I would have never predicted 25 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we would be friends with as many young people as we are.
Yeah, we're popular among the under 30 crowd.
I mean, it's kind of weird, but
Well,
it's kind
it's a
of
mentorship.
amazing
Mhm.
because it's like we literally met these people on Instagram, and now we've hung out with them in real life, and
Oh, you're talking about the compound? Yeah.
well,
people.
our friends, our people, and I'm like,
We're the oldest by 25
we're the
years.
oldest by 25 years, but they like hanging out with us, and I'm like, is it because of my rapier wit?
Yes.
Is it because
They call you the boomer in chief.
Well,
And
I
I'm
mean,
Granberry.
I mean, it's amazing. It's great. I love it. I mean,
Keeps us young.
keeps us young, and the energy and enthusiasm and just sort of creativity that
Oh
they
my
have.
gosh, yeah.
I'm just like, slow down.
The idea
You're going way too fast for my brain to process because
you got to take that
yeah,
take that 3 steps back.
yeah, but
Isn't it amazing though when you surround yourself with people of different ages? Like we hang out with 90-year-olds, we hang out with 30-year-olds. We surround ourselves with people that are ahead of us and behind us, and it's just a joy. It's a joy because you get to celebrate them, they get to celebrate you, and
and everybody, and this is the amazing thing of everybody has something to teach me, right?
Yes.
Which is interesting because I am not always the most teachable.
No, that is correct.
We didn't have to agree with me so fast.
I was very gentle. I love you. You're very, very smart. Here's the thing about you being teachable.
Mhm.
There are certain things, topics, shall we say, that you are very stalwart on. There is nothing in history. I shouldn't say nothing because I'm trying to not always say always or nothing or those definitive
You
words.
can say, I always hate turkey bacon.
Okay.
That's a definitive word. I
Okay.
never want to see turkey bacon, and I always hate turkey bacon.
But like, if I were to learn something about history in one of the books I read, in a class that I take, in a conversation that I have,
Right.
and I were to come to you, that would probably not be a teaching moment for you. That would be a sharing moment with you.
Okay. I'll buy that.
So that's what I mean by, you're not, but like, I mean, as far as the reels, like social media, you are very open to learning.
Yeah.
That was really a long pause.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm open to learning, and I know that I got to have a millennial teach me because like I don't know anything. But I'm like,
and you're very open to trying new things. You're very open to. Okay, you're not so open to trying new food.
No.
Okay, let's be clear.
No.
But you're open to. Hey, we went to a painting. We did like a painting thing one night. We're going to be doing candle making here.
Well, what? Wait, whoa, back up.
It's in March, and we're gonna.
Who am I, Paul Revere? What are we gonna go like get our muskets and fight the British afterwards by candlelight? Where's those?
No, we're gonna take a candle making class.
Why?
Because you said that you
Is
would.
This one of those couple things?
Yes.
Okay, so if we're gonna go make candles, then after that we're gonna go axe throwing.
Okay. Well, deal. But you said that you would do a candle class if I made sure that there was a cooking class also on the calendar.
And axe throwing.
And now I will add axe throwing to it. Oh my gosh. Anyways,
now if I can make, do we get to put scents in them? Because I'll make a bourbon scented candle.
I
bacon scented candle.
Oh no, we've had those before. Those are disgusting. Just make some bacon. Don't put it in a candle.
Or like a fine
Corinthian leather
candle, or a Macanudo cigar candle.
Oh no! Okay,
really, a candle that smells like a Macanudo cigar?
Yes,
I would totally make
whatever one you want. It's your candle that'll only be burned in your office.
All right,
with the door closed.
I'm liking this idea better now.
Okay, I don't even know what I was. Oh, okay. So you would be a charcuterie board, right? So you're not really open.
Yes, everything in my life comes back to food.
Okay, and what would I be? I just want to know what you think I would be. If I were a food, if my life, everything I've been through in my life and experienced in my life, what would it be? I know what it would be, but what do you think it would be?
Absolutely no clue.
Oh, it would be every stand at a sporting event. There'd be nachos. There'd be hot dogs. There'd be popcorn.
Okay, I can actually see that.
There would be cake pops.
So your life is stadium junk food. Yes. And my life is a charcuterie board. Well, there you go. We'll put that on our gravesides.
Yes. I think people sometimes would look at you and go, and they would flip that. They would think I was the charcuterie board and you were the stadium food. But
stadium food's too expensive. They never buy that stuff. It's like,
comes down to the
really?
money.
Who pays like $10 for a hot dog? I can go to Costco and get that for $1.50.
Nope, not if I'm sitting at a hockey game with the Washington Capitals. I am going to pay $10 for the hot dog with the chili and the mustard and the onions so I could watch my Capitals destroy whatever other team is on the ice with them.
Whatever.
If I'm going to go to a Washington Commanders game, then I'm going to sit there with my popcorn, and then in the second half, it'll be with my nachos. I hate paying
for that stuff at a Navy game, and you know how I feel about Navy games.
Navy games are fun, and their food is great.
But it's expensive.
I don't care. We're there for the experience.
I know. We do go to the Navy store and then spend like ridiculous amounts of money on Navy gee-dunk. But we only go like
a couple times a year. But anyways.
Maybe.
Oh, I wonder if they have things for Maggie. Do they have doggy Navy things? Oh, we're in trouble now.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, all right. Now back to your question because we're running out of time here.
Yes. Back to those are my two questions.
That's it?
Yes.
That's your newlywed game?
Those were fun questions. Okay, fine.
Wait. Up. My turn.
Okay.
No. Okay, Mike Wallace, the interview with me is done. Now your turn. What is your goals for 2024?
But this is not about me.
Nope, sorry.
This isn't about me. This podcast was all about you, Jer. This was focusing on you and celebrating you and who God is calling you to be.
Nice dodge. Now listen. Answer the question, because it's the first podcast of 2024.
Okay, my goals.
Your 3 goals for the year. Go.
To launch a mentoring program, like an official mentoring program.
Okay.
That I'm working on, that I've been working on for a year and a half now.
Okay.
To accompany women to be brave and bold in their lives and to approach their chosen vocation with joy.
Okay.
Number 2, to continue my health journey as a type 2 diabetic to, I'm 27 pounds down. And
So you better stay away from that stadium food then. Just saying.
Listen,
No hot dogs and nachos for you.
how often do we go to a stadium, sweetheart?
Never, because it's too dang expensive. The only time we go to stadium is a Navy game.
This is what it's like to live with you. Anyways, I'm not the one that has the issue spending money.
No, you have no issue spending money at all. That might be a different podcast. Just saying.
Anyways, okay. So
Number 1.
right.
Number 2.
My health journey. Okay.
Number 3.
Learn a new skill.
Hmm.
You know, a new hobby. So like I love to sew. I've made quilts. I've made clothing. I cross stitch. I embroider.
You got that whole knit pearl thing. You're not
I can
there
knit.
yet.
The pearl just takes me
Your
out.
daughter-in-law is
I know
furiously
she's
trying to teach
so hard.
you.
She's so patient. I love her so much. But I would like to really get into not sourdough, because I think that is like a science that I don't have time for, but get back in the kitchen and bake again.
I approve of this plan.
And you know,
actually, sourdough's good. You could take
I
up
could
sourdough.
Okay.
We have so many friends that do sourdough.
I would also. I think I was looking the other day. I was like, you know, the Cricut, which is you make the T-shirts and it's all the.
Oh, you could be like way too dangerous.
Oh, way
with
too
that
dangerous
thing.
with the Cricut, or learning like clay earrings. I love clay earrings, and I
You
love
mean
earrings.
Make your
but
own
I could make
earrings?
my own earrings.
That could
Actually help you financially.
That could get us to Europe.
It might possibly if I sold them.
No, I'm just thinking if you could not.
I could have my own earring collection.
You could. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I feel very, you know, we're also underlying that we don't talk about a lot. We serve the church in whatever way the Lord calls us to. This year
Wait a minute.
we're cooking for the college
I was
kids.
going to say somehow
we start that in February.
we are
I'm
going to
really
start
excited.
cooking for
I
college
know.
kids.
For the Catholic campus ministry of our local university. So we're really excited about that. And just, you know, to be available to our
Do I have
children.
to wash dishes?
No, that's why they have college children.
Excellent.
College kids, they're not children, but anyways.
We have staff.
we
have
have
staff
staff
to
for
do
that.
dishes. Excellent.
Yes.
Good plan.
You know, to go where the Lord has us going. I mean, I'm traveling
Hopefully
again this
the
year.
stairway to heaven and not the highway to hell.
Oh, please. Lord Jesus, help us. Yes. But like I'm traveling and speaking all over the country this year. And
going back to see your Canadian friends.
I am in Toronto and the Women of the Word. And then you're coming. We're actually doing a couple of things together as a couple. So as far as speaking.
That's right. I get to go hang out with the priest.
I know.
The two of us, solidarity, man.
So yeah, I you know me. The thing about the difference, one of the major differences between you and me is that I pay attention to what's happening right now. I am all in on today.
Correct.
I really don't like to think about yesterday because I can't fix it. And it just irritates me.
True.
For all the mistakes that I've made. So I'm not one to look back.
True.
On stories and certain events, yes, but not like,
right.
I don't get stuck in the past. And I really cannot envision a future. It's very challenging for me to envision what a year from now looks like, what 5 years from now looks like.
Aren't you taking like some classes on that?
I am, but the thing about it is, you know, when you're planning as a business or as a person or as a family, you know, you and I have experienced so much change in the course of our life. In a course of 1 year, so much changes. And a lot of it is external that we cannot control. And it changes how we experience life, how we look at life, what we want to do in our life. And I guess Courtney taught me a lot of things, but one was to remain in the present and to just live today with all you've got. And that's what I do. And I think I do it fairly well most days.
You live in the present excellently.
I do. And it drives you bananas. Because you are a planner and you are like, Mary, but think about in 1 year. And I'm like, you know what? I spent 25 years in the quiet corner of parenting and caring for a special needs child. Jonathan was 3 when she was born, and then she was 22 when she passed. And it's very challenging for me to plan, to long-term plan.
That's why we have the yearly meeting.
I know. And that's why God gave me you, because you're very good at that. And I think that's something that we do very, very well for one another, is I try desperately to keep your feet in today. Like, you cannot fix yesterday. And I don't even want to talk about tomorrow, because it's not tomorrow. And it's not something we've been guaranteed. And if anything, 2023 taught us that.
True.
Again.
True.
Like, we didn't need that lesson again, but we got it again.
True that.
So time is precious. It's called the sacrament of the present moment for a reason. So that's
why it's also called the art of war for a reason, Sun Tzu. So you plan ahead.
That's why I have you, my love.
Mm-hmm.
You plan ahead for me.
I do.
And I'll keep your hands and feet in today.
Okay.
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 Deal. High five.
High five. Booyah.
Teamwork.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us for our very first podcast of 2024
Dun, 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 dun.
on the Mary and Jerry podcast.
Hooray.
We would love it if you would subscribe to whatever channel you listen to your podcasts on, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever it is. It would be great if you press that subscribe and follow. We love reviews. We read them all. Even
especially
the ones
like good reviews
that don't always show one of us in the best light.
But we'll be honest.
But Jerry is great. I'm apparently not so there. And there's Maggie.
Okay.
It's our YouTube audience. Here she
Maggie
is.
would like to go out.
Okay.
So
Anyways,
you can call
us on our Google Voice number.
Or leave us a message at
571-354-0351. That's 571-354-0351. We look forward to being with you again next week, where we begin. Recently, we had asked people for topics on Instagram, what they want to hear about. So we're going to start working through those. But if there's something that you'd like us to talk about, please do leave us a text message or a voicemail.
And for all you YouTubers, yes, this is Maggie the
That
Wonder
is
Dog.
Maggie
We're
the
going to go
Wonder
take
Dog.
Maggie out and throw her the Frisbee.
We wish you all a pleasant and wonderful day, and know that you are seen, known, and loved by a God who is absolutely thrilled that you're here. So, I'm Mary.
I'm Jerry, and now I'm going to try to reach and turn this off.
Oh my gosh.